Hello, and welcome back to Saad's Football Corner. Welcome back to another live stream, another show, another video on the channel. Big ups to everybody is tuned in nice and early. Big ups to everybody is watching on the replay. Make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, and make sure you're hitting that bell notification so you're notified every time we go live, every time we post a video, all of that good stuff. I am joined today by Ash. You already know it's Saad and Ash. Obviously, every Thursday we're here to do Saad X Ash. Apart from actually it's gonna move, guys, and I haven't told Ash this, but it's gonna
Yeah, this is
move.
news to me.
I can't lie, I did the maths in my head, and once you go back to normal work, it's gonna have to be on
Mm,
Fridays. We're gonna have to
yeah,
do it on Fridays, so it makes it a bit easier. So then you can it doesn't like coincide with any UCL, UEL, nothing, bro. You know what I mean? It coincides. It's a free day. So Friday is going to be the day that we are going to be doing Sard X Ash in the near future, once Ash goes back to work and he's done with taking care of he's not done with taking care of his child. Let me
I'm
not
never
make
done
you
with
let
taking
me not
care of
go crazy. He's stuck with that for life. Do you know what I mean? Big up the child. Big up his baby girl. But yeah, it's gonna be changing to Friday. But listen, big up to everybody who is tuned in. Ash, how you doing, my broski? Good to see you
I'm
again.
good. I'm good. Yeah, man. Inter lull is finally over, as I like to
Oh,
call it. So we're finally back to Premier League football. Um, but yeah, man, it's exciting. Good time to get back as well.
mm. Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. I agree, man.
And what a weekend to get
International
back to
break,
as well.
man. Yeah, big one ahead, man. We are going to be speaking about the North London derby. We're also going to be doing the weekly weekend predictions for the games that are coming up. And we're also going to start off with talking about Arteta's brand new contract that he signed. Arteta has
Starting
put
hot.
pen to paper and has penciled down himself for another 3 years, or I think it's 2 years, plus the one that he already had.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
2027.
it's gonna be ending in 2027. But guys, make sure you smash the like button, make sure you're subscribing. Tash here, trolling, saying 3 more years of community shields. Listen, man, we love it, man. We love the community shields. Big up the community shield. um, and Toka saying, "Yo, big up to Shravan, who says, Saad, how are you, man? I'm very good, my brother. How are you? I hope you're doing well, Shravan. Make sure you smash the like button, my broski. And listen, hopefully you're good. Hopefully the family is good as well. Big up to Ash as well, who actually came onto the calling show,
The
bro.
other
So big up to you, man. Big up to the other Ash. Big up to the other Ash. So big up to you, my broski. Saying big up Sardinio and my twin brother Ash. Yeah, big up to you, my brother. Big up, my broski. And then Shax, of course. Big up to you, my broski. Hopefully you're well, Shax. Hopefully you're blessed. All of that good stuff, man. Big up to you, man. Big up to you. And then Skullex saying 3 more years of failure. The thing is, it's funny that Skullex says this year when his club is just in the mud right now, bro. Do you know what I mean? His club is actually in the mud. But listen, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens.
Wait,
We are
who
going to
does he
speak about it
support?
now.
Liverpool, right?
He's a Chelsea fan. Chelsea fan.
Oh my god,
I
bro.
don't even know why Chelsea fans talk. Right,
Yeah,
like
generally, yeah, me
as if
neither.
their owners are not having like World War III right now, bro. Do you know what I mean? So it does not make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. But listen, Skalex is going through his own troubles right now with his club. I can understand if he wants to try and put it towards Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? To try and just fend off his frustrations, bro, and put it on somebody, bro. Listen, it's all good, man. We'll be at the top, and eventually, inshallah, we will win stuff. So it's all good. But I don't know
So
what you're gonna do, bro. I don't know what you're gonna do, bro, because that's a hot mess, bro. You have been shit for 3 years. 3 years of utter shit, and you haven't even beaten teams like convincingly, bro. Apart from the odd occasion, bro. The odd occasion, bro. When you done it to Wolves, we were all surprised. Everybody was surprised. Yeah. So anyway, let's get into it. Ash, I want you to go first, and I want you to give us your thoughts on the Arteta signing before I go into my whole thing. I'm gonna say.
yeah, look, we've had. I remember we had a show on this last season. Towards the end of
Mm,
last season, it was quite heated. I remember as well with T, not T, Connor T, Hooks, Martin, and all. think we had like 8 or 9 Arsenal fans at the time. Um, and look, I'll reiterate what I said back then because for me nothing's changed. I've been defending obviously Arteta. I've been defending the team. I've been saying that I back him.
Mm,
Um, I keep like I obviously had like the discussion with you towards the end of last video saying that our squad is not thin. I'm not sure why people keep saying that. I think the squad depth is good. Everything's good in the team. And we can definitely compete for the Champions League and the league this season and hopefully win one of them, at least the league, or especially the league. Um, but with that being said, like I still don't think it makes sense to give him that level of a contract extension. Now I'm okay with him getting that 1 year extra because let's say his current contract ends on what 2025, so end of this season, if I'm not wrong. I'm okay with giving him that extra contract extension up until 2026. That makes sense because then he gets you basically meet halfway, right? So you say, hey, you know
mm,
what, you have job security of one more season. However, you're also like building you're also making sure that the complacency doesn't set in because now for me I've said this before, I think as long as he keeps progressing us, I'm okay with him staying, right? The moment he stops progressing us, the moment we stagnate or regress, in my opinion he needs to be sacked. And it's a lot harder to do it when you've given him like an extra 2 or 3 years on the contract versus if he only has 1 year left. If he has 1 year left, you pay him those 1 year's wages and say, hey, listen, we regress
mm,
this season. It's not good enough. We have a good enough squad to win the league. We are going to look for whoever can take us to the next step. But when you give him up until 2027, I just think it makes it a bit harder. However, I'm not that um, fussed about the contract period as much as I am about the actual wage we're paying him, right? Because if you remember, we did the video to your channel like months ago. The
mm,
rumor was that he's going to get an extra 3 years on what he already has, and for me that was mental. They've given him an additional 2 years on what he has, which again I'm not a big fan of, but it is what it is. I can swallow that pill. That's okay. Where I have an issue with is I heard he's now going to be the highest paid manager in the Premier League,
mm,
which I think is absolutely insane. It is insane. Doesn't matter. We're not. It's not like we're freaking minting money, right? Or we're a club that has like unlimited money to spend. Why on earth would we make him the highest paid manager when he's yet to win a Premier League or a Champions League? I don't get that logic. If Klopp and Pep are not on that kind of money, I'm not sure why we are offering that kind of money, like as Arsenal Football Club,
yeah.
when we haven't won any major thing. So that's where I have the biggest issue, and I'll use it as a reference because, in my opinion, I think he's done a decent job since he's taken over. He's won the FA Cup in his first season. Obviously, that was that COVID year. We finished eighth. That was a proper regression for me. But then from that period onwards, it's been proper progression because we then went to fifth. Then we went to challenging and finishing second. And then we challenged again last season. And for me, that challenge last season was even better than the year before because we took it till the very last week. It was only within 2 points. And City were looking behind them and we were breathing behind their neck. So they were concerned about us. They were concerned of us. So while he's done all that, and I think he's progressed us really well, I don't think he's done enough to warrant that kind of a pay jump. He's on what, 8-9 million, and the rumor apparently is they're jumping him to what, close to 20, if I'm not wrong, or something a little less than that. And that's almost 100% increase on what he's currently on.
Is that per is that annual?
Yeah, annual per year. That's what I heard. Again, I don't know if the things I've read are wrong. In which case, I obviously take it back. But
Mm,
if he is getting almost double his salary, I think that's a bit insane. Imagine if you give, let's say, Saad, you're running a company, and you give one of your employees a target of like $10 million a year. Hey, for this year, you need to hit $10 million, and if you do, you know what? We'll promote you to a higher role, and we'll give you like a good increase or whatever it is, right?
mm,
Let's say now your employee hits that target of $10 million. You're obviously gonna promote him. You should because you told him you would. And let's say you increase your salary, you promote him, you give him like a 30%, 40% increase, 20% increase. You wouldn't give him 100% increase, right? Unless he's
mm,
gone above and beyond. Let's say you've given him a $10 million target, and now he smashed it and hit like 20 million, for example, which is way more than what you expected. Then fair enough. I completely understand. You're doubling his wages. You
mm,
don't want to lose him and all that kind of stuff. The way we're treating Arteta right now, I think he's met his goals so far because he's progressed us year on year. I don't think he smashed them, in my opinion, because from the time we signed him in 2019 or 2020, my objective for him was at the time, and I'm assuming that's the board's objective as well, is that in 4-5 years' time, we need to be competing and challenging and winning the Premier League
Mm.
and challenging every single season, which he's doing right now. So he hasn't exceeded his target. He hasn't blown our minds, but he's done well. So I agree with giving him an increase, but doubling his salary, I think that's insane. That's insane,
Mm.
honestly. So that's what I have a bigger problem with.
Yeah. You know what? Listen, I've listened to a lot of what you said, and for me, my thought process on the whole Arteta thing, I wouldn't have given him the one. I wouldn't have given him a new contract. He would have had to prove to me that he can win something this year. Now, whether he does or he doesn't depends on whether he keeps his job. Because you have to, to be honest, this whole thing is mad fucked up. Because not only does this season it's so mad in regards to he has to win something this season. He has to win something. He has to leave with some sort of trophy. But also, he's not been backed fully in the transfer window. Let's face it, he hasn't. I know you want to say the squad depth is fine, but let's just ignore that for a second. He hasn't been backed fully the way he should be. Where we should be bringing attackers of a high level. We should be bringing midfielders of a high level. The defense was fine, to be honest. Defense didn't need to be touched, but the midfield and the attack need to be sorted out. Now, yes, we've gotten rid of players. Yes, we've gotten rid of dead wood, as you like to call it. But I wouldn't have given him this new contract. I would have waited to see if he could win something. If he couldn't win something, we'd have discussions at the end of the season whether to pull the plug. If there's a better manager available, then we pull the plug. If there isn't a better manager available, then we'd give him a 1 year extension. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Until there is a new manager available or a better manager available. I don't mind giving him a 1 year extension if there isn't nobody that's better than him available. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people are going to say, anybody's better than him. Clearly not, bro, because he's beaten a lot of managers, bro. He's beaten a lot of managers. He may not have won anything in the last 3 to 4 years or however long it's been. I think it's been 5 years. He may have not won anything, but he still competed with one of the best managers in world football, in Pep Guardiola. Still managed to consistently get close to him and even breathe down his neck last season. And they're lucky that the Aston Villa result happened, because if if we won the Aston Villa game, bro, Man City don't have that Premier League and we're chilling there. Do you know what I mean? We're chilling right now saying nothing. We're like, yeah, Arteta, new contract, well deserved. That's what everybody's going to be saying. But the fact that we had one kind of result obviously kind of messed us up. Now, Arteta getting a new contract, I'm upset, but I'm also not, because I'm upset that we're kind of falling into the whole thing of still waiting and we're willing to still give him time, because I feel like we need to win some stuff. I'm tired of just being this club that just gets second and just keeps on progressing and progressing. There's nowhere else to progress for me.
Mm.
A lot of people will say, "Oh, but what if Man City hit a 100 point season again and we get like 99?" I don't care about that, bro. I need something, bro. I need something in my hands, bro. A trophy, something I can lift up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm all up for, because I was Arteta out before, and I know you were as well. I was Arteta out before because I didn't see his system working. I didn't see his system um fully aligning with what he was trying to say he was going to do. What I was seeing on the pitch wasn't what was happening. No, sorry, it wasn't what he was trying to tell me he was doing. Do you know what I mean? It was completely different. So for me, I look at the whole situation with Arteta right now, where I said if he can get us challenging, then I will give him time. If I could see something and I can see it leading up to something, I will give him time. I've given him what's that? 2 years. Even to be honest, when we went for top four that season but bottled it, I was still okay. You know what? I can see
It was still
something.
progression.
Something
Yeah.
something's happening. Yeah, when we got top four, I didn't even imagine that we could challenge for the league, because I didn't think we were in that place, but we did. And I've given him 2 years now to challenge. I gave him the last year to challenge, and obviously we were ahead, but due to injuries or whatever you want to say, or bottling or whatever you want to say, we bottled the league. Yeah.
Hmm.
Then this last season, we ended up going right down to the wire, but somehow still lost the league due to the losses and not being as consistent as we would have wanted to. Now we end up in the situation that we're in right now. We've started off the season. It's been okay, hasn't been the best. Now we've got a load of injuries, and these next two games are going to be really, really, really full of pressure. These next three games, actually, because Atalanta are not an easy team. So these next three games are going to be full of problems. But in regards to the Arteta contract, like I said, I'm not happy that we gave him a contract, because I would rather try and add a little bit of pressure, because there needs to be pressure in this game. You can't let man get complacent unless he's, like you said, won like a Premier League or a Champions League or something like that. Then he's already won, so you can put your trust in him, knowing that he'll get over the line. We can't say that we can put our trust in this guy and knowing that he'll get us over the line, because he's had many opportunities to get us over the line. He hasn't taken them. So I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy with the contract. However, the reason why I say I'm upset, but I'm also not, is because um I understood that this was going to happen by the talks that we were going on, and everybody now in the Arsenal fan base, I think, has just acted like this has just come out of nowhere, and they've just offered him a contract out of nowhere. There was talks last year that we were going to offer him a contract. There was talks even towards the latter end of last year that we were going to offer him a contract, even when it was going shit against Fulham and against West Ham. There was talks of going that we were going to offer him a contract. So the fact that people are all acting out of pocket now, oh my God, how have you offered him a contract? Rewarding failure. We're rewarding failure. Bro, they already told you guys they're going to do this, bro. They already said they're drafting a contract and they're going to offer him a brand new contract. So why are you guys shouting and screaming about it? Because no matter what happens, no matter how much we scream about it, no matter how much I go on stream and I sit there and say Arteta out, and everybody else goes on stream and says Arteta out, and we don't want him anymore. He's not taking us further. He's not going to win the league. Yeah, we can all say that, but it's not going to change, because the club is aligned in one thing and one thing only, and that's that they believe Mikel Arteta is the guy that can stay with them for the next 3, 4, 5 years. That's the reality of the situation. So that's why I'm not technically upset that much, but I'm also a bit annoyed that we have in that contract. Do you know what I mean? I think it hasn't affected me to the way it has affected many people, because they just gone crazy about it. But in regards to the payment structure and what we've given him to pay him, bro, I think that is outrageous, and completely agree with what you said about the whole he hasn't he's hit goals, but he hasn't done a madness, bro. He hasn't won
Yeah.
a Premier League. He hasn't won multiple Premier Leagues for us to really be giving him 20 million or however much it is, doubling his freaking doubling his wage, doubling his annual salary, bro. That's crazy for what he's done. Yes, he has gotten us to challenging. I agree, he's gotten us to challenging. He's progressed us up until this point and gotten us to a point where we're in good hands and able to compete for the league every year. And when we don't compete for the league, people are going to start shaking their head and then raising their eyebrows. He's got it to this point. Now is the time to get it over the line, and these men are rewarding him with a 20 million pound freaking per year salary. What does that bring in? Complacency. And what did I say before? Complacency is the worst thing you can have your manager doing. You can't get complacent. He always has to think, bro, my job is on the line here. My reputation is on the line. So I don't think we've put him in that situation. I don't think we've made it clear, because I don't think the ownership have made it clear that we need to win stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously Arteta came out and said, "Oh, these guys are the most hungry people for success. They love success. We're completely, and everybody's going and looking at the um everybody's going and looking at the social media and surprised that Arsenal are coming out and saying hungry for success. Oh, he's penned a new deal. We're in it for the long run. Oh, we love our manager. Better safe than sorry, or whatever it is that they put on there, brother. That is all PR. It is all PR. The club is gonna come out and say this stuff because they want to look at it positively. What do you think they're gonna do? Yeah, Arteta signs a new contract. Full stop. Like, bro, what do people think is gonna happen? Of course, they're gonna try and gas it up. And the funny thing is, the people who actually want Arteta out are the minority, bro. The people
Hmm.
who want Arteta to stay are the majority, bro. So you guys are the minority, bro. But then the majority is gassed by that stuff. So listen, I think at the moment I've made my bed. It's time to lay in it. And actually I don't think that's the saying. I've made my bed. I've made my peace with this situation. I've made my peace with the fact that he is going to sign the contract and he is going to get the 3 more years, or I actually thought it was going to be 2 more. I actually thought it was going to be more. I thought they were going to give him 5 more years. That's what I thought they were going to give him, but they only gave him 2 more years plus the year that he has now. But listen, one more thing I wanted to speak about, and I said it to Ash before we started the show. It's very, very, very funny to me how, of course, as Arsenal fans, we're gonna sit there and we're gonna discuss it. And certain people like Abdi are gonna be like, "Yo, it's disgusting. Why they giving him a new contract?" And that's fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Abdi is well in his right to say that. He's a fan just like me. He has his own opinions. He has his own things. Ash, of course, says 1 year I don't mind. Even 2 years I don't mind that, but 3 years is crazy. Obviously, me, I'm not too happy about the contract. I wouldn't have given it to him until the end of the season to see if he deserves it. But the funny thing is, rivals are really funny creatures to me. The rivals are really funny creatures because Arteta pens a new deal. In most of these rivals' eyes, Arteta is not the right guy. Arteta is not the right guy in most of these rivals' eyes. However, they're all happy. They're not happy. They're actually upset, and they're like, "How can you not get rid of him? How can you do this? How can you do that?" So why do you rivals want us to get rid of Arteta if he's not good? If you don't rate him, why? Like, it genuinely makes no sense at all. Why you guys want us to get rid of Arteta, even though you don't rate him yourselves? You said to us that he is a bottle job. He doesn't win trophies. He does this. He does that. If you don't want him, how can you sit there and be angry if he's staying with us? You should be happy. If I was a rival, I'd be over the moon. I'd be like, whoa, Arsenal not winning more trophies. I'm so happy with the appointment. So gassed. Let's get it going, man. Hopefully he stays a few more years. Hopefully he can put a pen to paper in the next 3 years and then extend that contract even more. But rivals are upset, bro. Do you know what I mean? Rivals are more rattled than Arsenal fans, funnily enough. So it's just very funny that I sit there and observe it, and then I just look at it, and I'm just like, it's very funny how rivals act. Because I put out a tweet, and my tweet today, it was pretty simple. I said, rivals sit there saying Arteta is so bad, but complain when we keep him. If I was a rival, I'd be like, this is great that he's staying. Do they know something we don't? And
It's
that,
like
no, go ahead.
it's like when they celebrated when Ten Hag renewed, right, or when Ten Hag stayed. Everyone celebrated because we knew like that's bad for United,
Yeah,
right? So why is it not the same exact thing like with Arteta renewing? Bro, this is why genuinely like remember the term that I used last year, like
I use it
BTB,
all the time, bro.
BTB, brain dead banner, BDB, sorry, brain dead banter. Honestly, like
That's the best.
I don't. I already made it very clear that I don't like the fact that he's getting that kind of money. I think that's insane for someone who hasn't won
Hmm.
anything. I agree with you. If we don't renew his contract as well, I wouldn't be mad at that. I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. Let's talk about it when the season ends, depending on how the season goes. Because for me, if he doesn't progress, I want him gone. Um, but the fact that rivals are just talking about this, like, oh, you guys made a mistake. Why would you keep him? Well, what does it matter if you don't rate him? And majority of rivals say they don't rate him. Then this is a good thing, right, for rivals because they know we're going to stay with another manager with Arteta for another year, or another 2 years in this case, or 3 years until 2027, and we're not going to win shit, right? Because it's already been decided. So I don't know. For me, it's super funny. Like the fact is, him without him winning anything major, he's still one of the best 10 managers in the world. There's absolutely no question about that. Like right now, if he was to leave Arsenal, so many clubs would be in for him. If Pep leaves City, City would be in for him. If let's say he doesn't have any loyalty in England and Liverpool were looking for a manager, they would consider going for him. Barcelona already tried going for him a couple of times. PSG tried poaching him before. Like all these big Bayern Munich would have definitely gone for him. These guys were begging for managers in the summer. So we're making it seem like this guy is not going to be wanted by some of the major clubs. And the fact that he hasn't won anything yet, I think you can criticize him for it 100%. There's no question about it. You can criticize him. You can say he should have done better here. He should have done better there. But the reality is, we didn't win the league in the last 2 seasons against probably the best dynasty in English football, right? And this is not me trying to give him an excuse or give him a door. I still criticize him. You know that. I've already said that him playing Havertz in the
Mm.
eight is probably the worst decision I've seen at Arsenal ever since I started supporting this club. I don't think I've seen a worse decision. But you also have to give him props to when it comes to the reality that he has come up against the best dynasty in English football with Pep Guardiola's Man City. And last season, he came very close to dethroning them, right? So people say, oh, but he hasn't won anything. Yeah, because he's competing against someone who most managers would not win against. If Carlo Ancelotti comes to England and let's say he takes over Liverpool or takes over Chelsea, he probably wouldn't beat Guardiola either, right? If Simeone comes to England and takes over Tottenham or Chelsea or Liverpool, he probably wouldn't beat Guardiola either. If Xabi Alonso comes to England and takes over Liverpool or any other team, despite how incredible he was with Leverkusen last season, he probably doesn't beat Guardiola either. So people need to stop making it seem like, oh, this guy's a shit manager or he sucks just because he hasn't won the Premier League over the last 2 seasons when he's lost it to someone who probably would have beaten even prime Sir Alex Ferguson probably would have lost him, right? Because that's how dominant Pep has been with leagues. I think I saw this once. He's probably not only won 3 leagues that he's
There's a
competed for,
record. There's a record. There's a record.
right? I
He's
remember he.
been in.
Sorry, go
No,
ahead.
no. He's out of all of his league titles, he's won 11 of them and only lost 3 league titles.
Only lost 3. Yeah, he's lost 2012 to
Only
Real
lost 3.
Madrid. He's lost. He's lost nothing with Bayern, and he's lost his first season with City against Conte. That was his first season, and then he lost the 2020 again with Liverpool. That's it.
Yes. So that's 4
So
actually.
no
Oh
3,
wait,
right?
that's 3. That's 3. Yeah, yeah. 1
3.
in
Yeah,
Spain
that's 3,
and then 2 in Prem.
and 2 in
Yeah,
England. That's it. None in Germany.
3. And it's a
3
lot
out
of
of
seasons, guys. It's a lot of
yeah,
seasons, bro.
bruh. It's from 2009 up until 2024. That's like what, 14, 15, 16 seasons. Out of 16 seasons, he's won 13 leagues. Again, this is not me giving an excuse. I still said if Arteta doesn't progress this season, he needs to go. Right? Doesn't matter. Even if he finishes with 88 points, which is amazing points tally, it's still regression from last season, especially if City went by like 5, 6, 7 points from us. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Arteta is a very good manager, which is why you see rivals criticizing this move because they're probably a lot of rivals are concerned about where we're going. And remember, bro, we have a young team. Our team is going nowhere. If Arteta and the players all stay, which is a different headache, obviously, because Saliba might end up going at some point, Saka might end up going at some point, Odegaard as well, if the team keeps playing this well and not winning stuff. But let's say they decide to stick for the next 4 or 5 years, 100% we're going to win a league or two, right? So he is a very good manager, and I'm just hoping that this money we're giving him and the contract extension we're giving him actually ends up paying off this season. Because if he regresses this season, that decision will look super foolish, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the thing. We need to hope that he can actually go there and win a title this season or win some sort of trophy. Because let's face it, Everybody's like putting their hair out right now. But if we go out and we actually win a title or we win a trophy, nobody's gonna be saying shit.
Mhm.
Everybody's gonna be laughing. Everybody's gonna be celebrating. Nobody's even gonna remember that he signed a contract. They're just gonna be happy.
Yeah.
So all I would say is let's. I understand people want to criticize it. I understand when people want to go crazy and over the top. And listen, I don't know whether you're okay, whether, do you know what I mean? You need to go out more. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you need, bro. But do you know what I mean? Let's not act like this is something that's gonna be so bad, like as if we ain't actually trying to go in and win the league, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's not trying to win the league. It's not like he's dipped from second and last season got third. And then maybe this season he's looking like he might get fourth or third. Do you know what I mean? He is literally going for their neck, bro. This season we've got some injury problems at the moment. But listen, I still think we're gonna put up a good fight. I
Yeah.
still think we can possibly win this league, but I just right now I've made my peace with it. I didn't want it personally, but I understand that's what's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? And it is where it is, bro. It really is where it is. I can't do nothing about it unless I suddenly become a billionaire overnight and then buy out the Cronkies. I can't do nothing about it. So why am I gonna sit there screaming every day at a camera saying Arteta out, Arteta out, Arteta out when it's not gonna change anything? I'm not that kind of guy, guys. Not that kind of guy. The only time I'll do that is if we completely go down the rows. If we're completely on the ropes and we're struggling for breath, and you know what I mean. That's the only time that you'll see me go crazy and start freaking screaming at the camera. But for now, as long as we're challenging and we actually go and win stuff, even if we win an FA Cup this season, that's all we win. I'm happy to win trophies. Of course, I want the bigger trophies, but as long as he's picking up smaller trophies on the way to the bigger trophies, I don't care. I'll be real. I just want to keep on my trophy count going up. That's all I want. But listen, eventually we will win league titles. That is a bit of a scary thing that our players could leave, but there's plenty of talent. There's plenty of talent that's coming in, bro. The scouts are able to scout plenty of good talent. They scouted freaking Saliba. They scouted Gabriel. They scouted Ben White, who nobody saw.
Martinelli.
Martinelli, exactly. They scouted freaking or Saka didn't scout. He was in the academy,
No,
but
academy.
they
Yeah.
they they scouted Odegaard
Gabriel
and saw
Magalhaes.
saw him for what he was. Yeah, yeah, I said that.
Oh,
They scouted Odegaard. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like we can't get other players, bro. People acting like it's done deal and that's it, bro. Let's not overreact. Do you know what I mean? I'm starting to have a bit more not I'm starting to be a bit more like calm and just observant rather than reactionary and just screaming because there's no point. I'm not gonna sit here and cause absolute stir and everything. Yeah. I just have to I just have to look at the situation as it is and I can give my opinion on whether I agree with it and I can give my opinion on whether I disagree with it. If we go backwards, then bro, that's a whole different story. But for now, for where we are, let's see what happens. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the season, we'll have a discussion on whether he should stay or shouldn't go or shouldn't stay. But for now, I'm waiting to see what happens this season, innit? So I think
man,
you
I'm
want to
gonna
say,
say, yeah, I'm gonna say like the chat is probably gonna get super rattled when I say this, but um, I feel people are going over the top with like criticism for the Kroenkes and Edu. Genuinely, I've seen it on so many channels where they're like, "Edu's a failure. He let us down. Kroenkes
no,
have
no,
no ambition."
Edu is, but
Okay,
Cronkies have put the money where their
uh,
mouth is.
the thing is, bro. So for starters, anyone who's criticizing the Kroenke, by the way, I used to be an ardent Kroenke out fan like years ago, right? When we were just using us to get top four and
Same.
there was no ambition, we were not getting any players. You have to admit, from the time Arteta's come in, they have shown proper ambition. They have spent money. People are saying, "Oh, these owners don't give a shit about winning." I think they do. Like if you look at the teams they own in the US, these are teams that win and challenge, right? So their whole company is Kroenke Sports Entertainment, whatever the hell it is. So
Yeah.
their
KSD.
company cares about like competing and winning things, and you can see it in their clubs in the US. Now, for
Mm.
them, for people saying that, oh, they haven't spent, and this is where I'll credit Edu as well, and this is where I'll defend both, because the fact is, anyone who's seen the Arsenal documentary, we've seen that these guys work together. They're not like, it's not like they're against each other. Clearly, Arteta, Edu, and the Kroenkes, in majority of the things, are they agree with each other in terms of how to take the club forward. People are saying that Edu has been bad. Okay, so I'm just looking at the transfers we have done since Edu's taken over in 2019, was it right?
Yeah.
2019. So I'm looking at 2021, the 2020-21 season and forward, right? Now, of course, there's a lot of signings they got that were horrendous. Whether it's the Pablo Maris and the Cedric Suarez's and the Williams, 100%. They got a lot of signings wrong, but then again, so did many clubs, including Liverpool, including City. They got certain signings wrong. So, but I'm going to talk about the signings that they did get correct, which is one of the reasons we have challenged for the league last 2 seasons, right? So 2020-21, we got Partey and we got Gabriel Magalhaes. And then we got Odegaard on loan, right? So the others were all underwhelming. Some of them are not with us anymore, obviously, but we did get three very important players that had a big impact on our performances over the last 2-3 seasons, right? Then 2021, 2022, that we signed obviously Odegaard permanently after that loan spell. We also got Ben White. We also got Aaron Ramsdale, who for 2 seasons was a very good keeper for us. We got Tomiyasu, who whenever is fit has been playing well. Unfortunately, he's had injury issues. And then the others are irrelevant because Lokonga and Tavares, we can obviously see were horrendous transfers. And then 22-23, we signed Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, who helped us challenge for the league. Everyone who's watched us that season knows without them we wouldn't have challenged. They also got Fabio Vera, who was a flop, but they also got Trossard, Kivior, and Jorginho, who have been decent for us. Trossard has been fantastic for us. And Jorginho and Kivior, when they've been called up to play as backups or as squad players, they've done okay, right?
Sorry, everybody's saying you're on the payroll. Bro.
I know. I'm seeing it. I'm just like going with it, right? And then last season, they got us Declan Rice, who everyone agrees is one of the best transfers we had in a long time. They got Kai Havertz, who up until now, I still think he's having only a purple patch. But the reality is, if what he's shown so far as a striker is who he really is, then he's actually a very good striker. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a purple patch. I said it on your show last time. But so far, I mean, I have to eat humble pie until he obviously drops. And I think he will drop at some point. They also got Urian Timber, we're reaping the rewards of that signing this season. And they signed David Raya, who, again, remember we got on your channel, we were criticizing the signing. We were saying, why the hell did we get Raya when we have Ramsdale? That was not something we needed to do urgently. We had other positions we needed to fill up. Now, a year in, that signing looks fantastic because Raya clearly looks like an upgrade over Ramsdale, especially in some of those minor mistakes. And this season so far, they've got Mikel Merino, who's a big boost, obviously, to our midfield because we had midfield issues last season, especially with Partey being injured. We got Calafiori, who can play as a left back and as a centre back, because we kept saying last season, if Saliba and Gabriel are injured, who's going to play? Well, we got a talented centre back who can play there, who can also play left back, which is a position we struggled with last season because we had Tomiyasu obviously injured, Urian Timber injured, and then Kivior and Zinchenko were both a bit average in that position. At least Zinchenko definitely was, and Kivior, for at least 3 games, he was horrendous. We fixed that as well this season. I'm not overwhelmed by the Sterling move. I've already said that before, but as a backup to Saka, he's definitely better than some of the dross we had in Reece Nelson. So I don't know, man. I just feel people are going a bit overboard. Like, show me another ownership that's winning around the world outside Florentino Perez and Real Madrid that is spending crazy money every single summer and buying player after player after player after player. Like City have not even done that in the last couple of seasons. I still stand by what I said last time. They still don't have a good backup for what's his name, for Rodri. And if Haaland gets injured, they've lost their main backup Alvarez, and Oscar Bob, who they were praising, who is a young talented player, is out for majority of the season. So I don't know. I feel like outside the striker thing, you don't have like much to criticize about, in my opinion.
The main thing for me, is the Kroenkes. I don't think it's the Kroenkes' fault. Like, because I think they've put their money where their mouth is. However, I still do believe they hold some portion of the blame for why this is happening, because they've allowed Edu to stay.
No, but why? What is happening?
I believe no, that we're not able to get the right players in. Do you know what I mean?
Like
Last summer, this summer that just passed, We should have been going in for players, bro. We should have been going for attacking players. We needed to strengthen our attack and we needed to strengthen our midfield. We had the money there
So
because
Saad,
now
if they
they're
come
coming
back
out
to
and
you, let's
saying
assume.
now they're coming out and saying after the summer window's closed that we had money there, we just chose not to spend it because the
Yeah,
the market is not right. I don't believe that's right. There should
Saad.
always be a
So
first, second, and third option. If the first one
here's
is
a
not available,
rebuttal.
go for the second.
Here's the quick rebuttal on that. What if, let's say, you're sitting with the Kroenkes and Arteta and Edu right now, and they tell you, yeah, well, our plan worked because the last 2 seasons we broke the record in the Premier League for most goals scored for Arsenal. What would you say then?
I'd say that we still need somebody who can take the game by the scruff of the neck. We don't have somebody who, if we're going up against a low block, we don't have somebody who can literally just take the ball and
Saad,
score a goal out of nothing.
90% of our games last season was against low blocks. And yet we scored against. How many teams did we not score against last season? There was Aston Villa for sure. And then City at the Etihad.
Yes,
Um,
that's fine.
and I think that's it, right?
Yes,
Or am I
no,
wrong?
no,
Maybe.
that's fine. That's fine.
West
Yes,
Ham.
but what I'm saying is the games where you know how sometimes Arsenal gets a bit uh they're scoring or they're shooting and shooting and trying to score a goal and they can't. Yeah, it's like we're
Mm.
trying to walk the ball into the back of the net. Happened many times
Okay.
last season. The West Ham game comes up every time I think about that kind of thing. Yeah, the West Ham game
West Ham.
comes up.
Only West Ham.
No, we also did it against Liverpool in the FA Cup. But anyway,
Yeah.
um,
Fair enough. The FA Cup,
we,
I
we
think, is by
also did
far
it
our
in
best team. I don't
we
know why
also
we're
we also
compared.
did it in the FA Cup against Liverpool. But anyway, um, when that happens, you need somebody on that pitch that can take the game by the scruff of the neck. You need somebody who can take the ball and say, you know what, let me do something special. Let me go past a couple players. Let me take a shot. Let me just create something special. We
We
don't have
have
that
that.
player. Who
We
who
have Saka. Saka does that a lot against Nottingham
Saka
Forest. I know it's Forest,
Saka.
but since you picked examples of West Ham, I can pick Forest as well. Then that first game of the season, well, Nketiah I think scored the first goal, but then we were struggling against Nottingham Forest, and Saka scores a banger from outside the box and gives us that cushion. He's done that
Yes,
many games last
that's
season,
that's fine to score when there's a cushion. Yeah, to give yourself to your team the cushion.
but he's
I'm
done that
talking
when we
about.
were losing
I'm
as
talking
well,
about.
or it was a
I'm
draw.
talking about. I'm talking about scoring when it's 0-0 and you need to score a winner.
But we had that right.
Score to
So
score.
so
So
I
when
can't
when
believe I'm
have they
gonna
done
praise
that?
him.
And how many
No,
how many consistent
I'll tell
times have
you.
they
I'll
done it?
tell you. So last season, Kai Havertz did that against Everton in the last game. He did that against Brentford, home and away, when we were drawing, and he scored the winner. We did it against Brighton, Jesus and Kai Havertz scored, so that doesn't really count. Against Liverpool, I don't remember who scored our goals. It was Saka, the first one, and then I think the last one was Trossard. Trossard scored our winner against United, right? A game that we predicted we will smash them, but for whatever reason, if nerves kicked in or United just showed up that game, it looked like we weren't going to score, and then Trossard comes with a winner in the first half. Um, so we've had games where some of these players have pulled up winners, bro. Like I don't necessarily agree with that logic because, by the way, if you're saying that, would you say Haaland is that kind of player for City?
Yes,
Okay, so how come last
and the
season
reason why.
So how come last season, if it's no, I agree with you. Holland is that kind of player, right? How come last season when he played against us home and away, he was one of the worst players on the pitch against his rivals, not against some random team, against his rivals in the league? How come when he played Liverpool at Anfield in the last 10 games of the season and they needed to win that game to go top, how come he stunk up the place and he did nothing all game, even though he's that kind of striker?
Okay, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine that you're using that example. Now,
Mm.
yes, he may have had a couple of bad games, or maybe 3 or 4 bad games in front of goal
Important games.
when he comes up against midfield against um a good defense. But the
Mm.
one thing that he does is when he comes up against a shittier defense, or he comes up against defense that's not like near to world class players, he's definitely going to make them pay.
So how come he
So,
didn't do it
for
against
example,
Aston Villa when they got dominated and they lost 1-0? He played that game. Aston Villa's defense is nowhere near Arsenal's or Liverpool's. How come he didn't do it then?
okay, but that was we said that was a weird thing that happened there. It was a very
What was the
weird
weird thing?
It was no, but it was weird to see Haaland just like that, bro. Where he doesn't score, where he looks like he doesn't want to get involved in the game, bro. It's it,
But Saad, that happens a lot.
it's
Okay, so
weird.
fine. I'll throw another game. How come he didn't do it against Chelsea when they drew 4-4? He scored a penalty. Outside that, he did nothing.
But
So
no,
how
no,
come
but
he didn't
he scored. But the thing
a
is,
penalty?
with no, no, but when it comes to City though, you can't really compare it though. And this is the reason why. I'll tell you the reason why. Because yes, Haaland is that kind of player, but they
Huh?
have multiple players that do that. So
So
they
how
have
come these multiple
they
players
have
didn't do it
Haaland,
against
they have
Chelsea,
Haaland,
against
they have De
Tottenham, against
Bruyne,
Liverpool, against Arsenal?
they have Haaland, they have De Bruyne, they have
So how come De
Foden.
Bruyne was benched against Liverpool and Arsenal when he was one of the worst players on the pitch? He came off both games in the second half because he was having shitty performances and started fighting with Guardiola on the bench. My point of telling you this is even the best of the best and the match winners also have these kind of games where they stink up the
Yes,
place and come off. So you getting
yes,
a
I can
guaranteed,
understand
by the
that,
way,
bro.
and I'm with you. I wanted an Osimhen, I wanted an Isak, but getting these guys is not guarantee we'd have won some of these games. And I've already said I wanted us to get a striker because I think Havertz is having a purple patch. But saying, oh, we need someone because he's a match winner, I can easily throw that back at you and say, well, we broke a record last 2 seasons, which means attack was good, right? If you take away Havertz, which we
But
all agree is not a
it
good
wasn't
striker,
the attack wasn't necessarily good because we were getting even
how is it
towards
not good?
because even for the first half of the season, bro, all it was freaking counter. We were scoring
But
from freaking
that wasn't the
set
attacks issue.
pieces.
That wasn't the attacks issue. And you remember what the issue
No, no,
was. The issue
it,
was
hold
we
on,
were
hold
playing
on.
Kai Havertz as an 8. Our midfield was dead. We were, remember, we checked the table and we were
But the
15th in the table for chances created. We were 15th in the Premier League table for chances created because we were not creating shit because Kai Havertz was playing in the mid. And you and I checked the stats and we were seeing how little this guy touches the ball when he's there. So it was killing our whole chance creation. It
yes,
wasn't like we were
okay,
creating enough
that's fine,
strikers were missing. Yeah,
that's
there you go.
fine. But even with the chances that they were created, the attack still wasn't taking advantage, bro.
Of
I
course
can
we were.
understand.
I
I can understand that you're saying that. Oh yeah, you know they weren't. We weren't creating chances. The midfield was dead. This and that.
mm,
Yeah, I can understand that because I did say that as well. Kai Havertz in the midfield absolutely killed any sort of uh, creativity and muddled everything up.
yeah. And Odegaard was
But the
poor
only
first half
thing
of the
is,
season.
but the only thing is, when it comes to having a striker, for me, the reason why I wanted a striker is because you need somebody clinical in there, somebody that isn't going to falter. Whenever you have the chances, like for instance, the chances that we got for Havertz against Aston Villa, a real striker does not falter those chances. A striker takes
Haaland
at
is
least
a
one
real
or two.
striker, and he missed. Haaland missed chances
Yes,
against
but let's
us,
stop using
against
Haaland
Liverpool.
though. Why do we keep on
Okay,
using Haaland, bro?
okay, fine. I'll change. I'll change the example. Salah, is Salah the kind of player?
Yes, Salah is that kind of player.
So how come he missed chances against Crystal Palace along with all his other teammates? Not just him. He missed one or two. His teammates missed a bunch. They missed in front of goal again and again and again, and they lost that game. And that's when they lost the league, if you remember. Right?
Yes, I
Obviously,
do
they
against Crystal
capitulated later.
Palace.
Exactly, but they also lost to Everton later, and they drew to Aston Villa
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. But it started with Crystal Palace, right? And before that, against United, I think he had a stinker against United as well. He scored a penalty, but outside that, he didn't do much either. When they drew 2-2, right? When he also played against United, against at Anfield, when they drew 0-0, he didn't score either. So how come Salah? Okay, fine. Let's forget Haaland. I don't know why we should forget Haaland because I just gave an example of a good striker. How come Salah didn't show up in some of these games when they needed him to show up so they could win the league?
The reason
Yeah, bro, I'm
Wallah,
with
this
you.
guy's such a fraud.
Salah, no, Saad,
No,
Saad,
no, because you talk like you don't want
I
a
am with you.
striker. You talk
I
like you don't want a
do.
striker. But
I
the thing
do.
is,
But I'm not. I don't
listen,
want a striker because of what you think.
no, no, but hold on. Let me answer
Mm,
the question because you
go ahead.
asked how comes they didn't score in these games.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even then, these players still do have these players still do have history of performing at top moments, bro. Even though he didn't score against Manchester United in the 0-0 draw, yeah.
Mm.
Even though what's it called? Haaland didn't score in the games against
Homer away
Chelsea
against Arsenal.
or against Arsenal or this or
Hmm.
that. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
bro, because when he didn't need to be called upon the season previous, what did Haaland do? What did Haaland do against Manchester against Arsenal? Both legs,
Okay, so by that logic, thank you for using that example because
bro.
Martinelli did not show up last season except for like that City game when he came off the bench and he was amazing. Scored a deflected goal, but he was good. But the season before that, he came up big. He scored against United, a legit goal, which the PGML came out and apologized for ruling off. He scored against Liverpool, home and away, right? He scored against, I'm trying to remember who else he scored against some of the other big games, but he had some very, very good performances in many games, right? So by that
Mm.
logic, Martinelli also showed up in some big games before, right? So are we going to say that, oh yeah, well, we have Martinelli. Odegaard has showed up in big games. Saka has scored against, I think, all of the big six, if I'm not wrong. I think he's got at least
Yes, he
one
has.
goal
Yeah.
against every single one of the big six. So that's what I'm telling you. We already have that player. The reason I want a striker, and I'm with you, I want a striker, and I've said it before, is because I don't think Havertz is who we are really seeing right now. I think it's just the purple patch. Remember when Rashford had that 4 or 5 months where he was one of the he was unplayable. He was scoring in every game. He was dribbling past 2, 3 players. He was like doing some insane stuff. I think that's what Havertz is going through right now, except at a lower level, obviously.
Mm.
And I don't think it'll last, which is why I said I want us to get a striker. But I'm not gonna come and say if we had a striker last season, we would have definitely won the league. Because how can you guarantee now that the winning goal Sky Havertz scored against Brentford home and away, or the winning goal he scored against Everton, would have been replaced by the striker?
But it's
How can
not.
you
But
guarantee
hold
that?
on. It's not even. It's not even the striker would have won us the league. It's just more attacking depth and quality attacking depth is what we're talking about. We're not talking
But
about
Saad, what's the
Reece
point?
Nelson. We're not talking about Eddie Nketiah. Now hold on, though. Hold on. Just let
Mm,
me explain
mm.
it. We're not talking about Reece Nelson. We're not talking about Eddie Nketiah. I'm talking about quality attacking depth. Somebody who can come in and is actually dangerous. Somebody who, even if, let's say, for instance, it isn't working with um Havertz. Let's say it isn't working with Saka. Saka's not having one of those good games which you criticized him for last season.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
let's say Martinelli is having an off day. We can bring on somebody just as dangerous. Trossard is on that left, 100%. Sterling, you could say now is on that right, but who do we have to bring on other than Havertz?
Okay.
Jesus,
So yeah,
he's
why
not
not?
clinical. As a
Yeah. So
striker,
tell
I
me.
need somebody. I need somebody to be clinical. Somebody who, even if I do have him on the bench, maybe even if it is a striker who
Yeah.
is, you know what I mean, somebody who can come off the bench that's dangerous, that can run at a team, that wants to get goals. Similar to, in England, how you had Harry Kane, yeah. And if the Harry Kane's having a stinker, you can bring on a Watkins, bro. Something similar to that, but not to that level,
Yeah, but
because
that's
I
national
understand.
team. You have a
I
lot of players.
understand.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. You're not going to get the best of the best because the best of the best is not going to sit on the bench for Arsenal. I fully
Yeah.
understand that, but I'm saying let's get close to it. Let's get somebody who is to a decent level at least.
Okay, so can I ask you this then, Saad? So right
Yes.
now our attack is, let's assume our starting 11 is Saka, Havertz, and Trossard up top, for
Yeah.
example, and then our backup, let's assume everyone is fit, is Jesus, Sterling, and Martinelli. You don't think that's good enough to bring off the bench and they make an impact, like how Jesus came off the bench against Bayern Munich and helped set up the goal for Trossard, who went and scored the winner. Both players who came off the bench and
I
ended up
think. I
winning
think
us the game.
Jesus. I think
Not winning
no.
us the
I
game,
think.
sorry, getting us a draw.
I think no. I think Jesus. I think that striker position in to be honest is the one that I'm worried about. And the
Why?
left wing, the left wing. Listen, I always back Martinelli, so I'm always gonna say he's good enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and
I will,
Trossard is there as well.
I back Martinelli, so I'm just one of these delusional fans. But anyway,
No, not delusional, but
um,
anyways,
yeah, because he has been performing bad, but I'll still back him.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Blindly. Um,
And right, we have Sterling who can come off
on the right we
for
have
Saka.
Sterling, who
Yeah,
that there we've added danger. I'm happy with that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine. We've actually added a dangerous player who can come in.
yeah,
However, the striker situation, if Havertz is not scoring, if Havertz is having one of his days where he can't hit a barn door, we bring on Jesus. Jesus is not clinical enough for me to say, you know what, I'm bringing him on. I'm comfortable that he can add a danger to score a goal. He can take a few shots and he will score a goal. I can't say that comfortably. Yes, he's good on the ball, and the only reason why I wanted to keep Jesus as a whole is to play him as a right winger behind Saka. somebody who could come on instead of Saka and he could cause trouble on that right wing. That's the only reason why I wanted to keep him. But I originally wanted always to get a striker, whether it be a backup. I don't care if you don't want to start Havertz. I don't care whether you lot want to sit there and want to be like, you know what, Havertz is our guy. We're gonna trust Havertz. We trust in Havertz. That's it. But at least get somebody who can come in for him, who is dangerous, who is a different type of striker, somebody who is forward thinking and always just looking for goals. A poacher.
Look,
That's
I
what I
hear you,
wanted.
but
A
the
profile.
argument can easily be made, bro, from the other side. Because I said I also wanted a striker to replace one of these two guys. I wanted to get rid of Havertz, bring in a striker, or get rid of Jesus, keep Havertz as a backup, whatever it is. But the reality is the club can easily make an argument against that, because when we had Aubameyang and when we had Lacazette as backup, right, we weren't like that good. We were not clinical. They were missing chances as well. They were missing chances that cost us games as well. Whereas they can easily say, hey, whatever we did the last 2 seasons, we did things that no fan expected. If we told you guys, if let's say the board came and told us fans, we are going to break Arsenal's goal scoring record this season in 22-23, we would have all laughed at them, but they went and did it. If they came to us now the next summer and said, hey, guess what, we're going to break it one more time, despite not having a striker, we would have laughed at them. The whole thing of, oh yeah, but if we have a striker, he could have made a difference here and there. But then the reality is we only did not score in 3 games last season, 4 games last season, right? Wait, I say 4 again, but it was City, Aston Villa, home and away, and West Ham. Yeah, 4 games. So even getting a striker does not necessarily guarantee that, because Haaland, one of the best finisher in the league, when he came to certain games where the team needed him, he didn't show up. Liverpool, when they needed Salah in certain games, they didn't show up. By the way, they did show up in so many other games, which is why nobody can question them. They are amazing. They're both world class. But I'm saying we also have Saka, who's done that for us in many, many games where we struggled. Remember that Chelsea game? We were stinking it up. We couldn't do anything. And Saka gave a beautiful cross to Trossard and we equalized. Again, Trossard, who's been extremely lethal for us, has come many times clutch and scored winning goals for us. That Everton game last season, it was 0-0. I think it was the last 10-15 minutes. And Saka gives it to Trossard and Trossard scores the winner. Against Wolves as well at home, I think Trossard scores the first or the second goal. So we've had 2 players in Trossard and Saka who have been super clinical for us and have scored in big games, in small games, in games we were losing. The West Ham game is an anomaly, bro, because the same people who scored just missed chances after chance after. It's similar to the Liverpool Crystal Palace game, where you just cannot get it in no matter what happens. But that didn't happen often that season. Against City, yeah, it was 0-0 at the Etihad, but that's because we played a conservative game. Arteta went with the mindset, I want to play a defensive game because worst case scenario, I get a point, which fair enough, it worked. And we both know we didn't lose the league last season because we drew to City. Yeah. That's what Rodri and all these other idiots are coming out saying. Or you came and you played for a draw. But that's stupid because we got 4 out of 6 points. Why the hell should we go all out attack and then end up losing that game? So the one game I agree. The one game I would say, like, yeah, a striker might have made a difference in that game is the West Ham game. But then if we had a striker all season, maybe we would have lost some other games or dropped points in some other games where not having a striker actually I don't want to say we didn't have a striker because Havertz was that striker, where maybe not having Havertz start would have cost us. I don't know. That's just like the way I see it. I want a striker, but I don't think it would solve issues the way people think it will solve. Like the way people are speaking, Saad, is that if we got a striker, let's say, who did you want? Gyökeres? If let's say we got Gyökeres, that's it. We're winning the league for sure. We're favorites. I don't think that changes much. I think maybe that increases our chance by like 1 or 2%. But it does not increase it tremendously. Getting Moreno, in my opinion, and Calafiori is what increases our chances tremendously. Because last season, our biggest issues and our biggest holes in the team were when Partey was injured and we kept experimenting players there in the midfield. And when we had Timber and Tomiyasu out and we had to keep playing Zinchenko or Kivior. Kivior at left back got skinned by Bakayoko.
Kivior had a couple of good games, but
but he got skinned against PSV, got skinned against Bayern, right? Got skinned against Luton Town when we won 4-3, if you remember, right? And Zinchenko, let's not even talk about him. Defensively, he was atrocious last season. When we fixed both those gaps this season. The attack, yes, we wanted a striker, but the fact that we didn't get a striker doesn't mean we're weak, in my opinion, over there. Okay. I still think this season we'll finish second, if not first, in terms of goals scored.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, this conversation has lasted for ages, bro. We've gone an hour just talking about Arteta, talking about the club, talking about the freaking higher ups and all sorts, bro. let's actually speak about the game this weekend. North London Derby weekend. You
Mm,
know what I mean? We need to do predictions as well.
yeah.
I don't want to keep you here for too long. So give me your thoughts on the on the game, man. On the game coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's last 2 seasons has been a good ground for us to go to.
Mm.
Um, and obviously this season it's a bit different because we do have a couple of missing players. I think our entire starting midfield is out. Rice, Odegaard, and while he hasn't played a single game yet, but I think Moreno was brought in to be a starter ahead of Partey. Right, I think once Moreno is fit, he'll probably start playing with Rice and Odegaard in the midfield, and Partey will be demoted to bench player. So, in that sense, if that happens, that means our entire starting midfield is out. And obviously, there are rumors about Calafiori and Jesus. I don't know if that's true or not. um, I did read that they're both gonna train, so they should be able to play. Um, I don't know, man. I think it's obviously gonna be hard in the last 2 seasons. But I think people have gone a bit crazy because a lot of Arsenal fans are like, "Yeah, we've lost these guys. We're gonna lose now. We're gonna be 8 points behind." I don't know. I still look at our lineup and I think we can definitely beat these guys still, right?
I do
Because
agree.
yeah, because right now, by the way, our back four is not even touched. Our starting back four is still there. Our goalkeeper is obviously still there. Yes, we've lost Odegaard and Rice, but we'll probably play. I'm assuming we'll play Partey, Jorginho, and Kai Havertz in that midfield. I think Kai Havertz will play a bit ahead behind the striker. And then we're going to start probably a front three of Trossard, Saka, and Jesus if he's fit. If he's not fit, I think he'll probably move Trossard up front and Martinelli on the left. At least that's what I think he should do. Right? And if he
Mm.
does that, in my opinion, I think that lineup is better than any Spurs lineup, any lineup that Spurs could put on the pitch. And I'm not even exaggerating or trying to have a crazy take here. I genuinely feel like that lineup is better than anything Spurs could put on the pitch. So if we go there with that mindset of, oh, we have Odegaard out, we have Rice out, and our players go deflated because of that, we've lost the game before we even got on the pitch, right? But if we go there knowing our lineup is still better, and Arteta sets our team to attack and exploit the high line of Spurs, bro, I genuinely think we can get out there with like a comfy win. When I say comfy win, I don't mean like 3-0, 4-0, and stuff like that, but I mean like we have a win where we're comfortable and we're not worried. Because last season we were stressed towards the last few minutes after the Dryer mistake when he gave the goal to Romero and obviously the Son penalty. Those last 10
Yeah.
minutes were extremely stressful. Um, but I think if we go there and we attack and we exploit Tottenham's high line, I think we should definitely be able to come back with all 3 points. I don't know if
Mm.
Mickey Van de Ven is back for them or not, but if he's not back and they still play with a high line, bruh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
hearing.
Uh,
I'm hearing that it's not looking too good. Apparently, um, Van de Ven is not there, or Van de Ven's not going to play, and apparently Solanke's not even going to make it. Is what I'm hearing. But
okay.
listen, it's not. It's not like the most reliable news. Do you know what I mean? This is stuff that I'm hearing whispers. It could just be mind games. People could be they could be
Maybe.
to keep the scent off, and then all of a sudden we see him. Do you know what I mean? So
Imagine we play mind games as well, and Odegaard and Moreno both start that game. None of it won't happen, obviously. But bro,
so you're telling me that Marino was at a cast, just sitting there, the other is just
imagine,
on
imagine just
by
waiting,
accident, bro. He's like,
just
bro,
waiting.
like, can I just go inside and take this off for a second? Because it's actually starting to piss me off, bro. There we go, man. He just goes like this. They just see him video of Marino just in there, just like this, bro, stretching it out, bro.
But generally, look, I hope I don't eat my words. I'm not that concerned about Solanke, even if he's available and he starts. I'm more
Yeah,
concerned about Van de Ven because the way Spurs play that high line, if he's not there, it's super easy for any team to exploit. And that's why
yeah,
any team that plays against Spurs, even if they are low in the table, they still manage to get like some clear big chances in the game. Right? If you watch that last game, Newcastle and Spurs, Spurs were by
mm,
far the better team. They had possession, they were like attacking Newcastle. Newcastle barely had 2 or 3 chances that game, but that second goal came because Spurs played at suicidal highline. And knowing Postecoglou from last season and knowing Spurs, I don't think they'll change that. And if they don't change that, we should take advantage of that. In my opinion, we should win that game.
yeah.
Excuse me.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, off.
That's what you gotta say. um, listen, I can't lie. For me, this game is important. Obviously, we know this. This is
Mm,
my. This is my. The first game. You know when the fixture list comes out. First game my eyes go to Tottenham home, Tottenham away. First
Mm.
two games. I don't care about City. I don't care about this Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham away and Tottenham at home. Where are those two games situated? They're the first games that I look at because I listen. Let's face it. This may be this may be a freaking overstatement, but I fucking hate this club. I hate them. Everything about them. It's just like, bro.
I'm sure
The
their
club.
feelings are mutual.
Yeah, the feelings are 100% mutual, but their club is just wait. You know, if there was like a club that literally epitomizes way too big for you're getting way too big for your boots. It's that club.
Yeah, that's Spurs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that club because they always think they're big. They always think they're this. They always think they can get into discussions, but no, you can't get into discussions. Certain discussions that I get into, you can't get into because you don't win the league consistently like I did. You didn't win the league for many times like I did. I've got 13 league titles. I blitz you on overall trophies, even taking out the whole freaking community shields that they like to add to make it into the 60s and all that. I blitz you for that. So yeah, for me, listen, it's simple. I hate this club. I hate everything about them. Their whole ideology of to dare is to do it. Just it stinks. It stinks. Everything about the club is just stinky, and I hate their club with a passion. But going to this game, listen, I am not as worried as I will be for Man City. I know you're saying that we'll be fine for the whole run. I'm still worried for City because of creativity.
No, no, I didn't say we'll be
Is
fine for the whole
stamina.
run. I don't. I think we'll struggle against City.
Okay, all right, that's fine. So for this game, I'm not too worried, to be honest. I'm
Mm.
really not too worried about this game that much. But listen, of course, it's a derby. Anything can happen. Of
Yeah.
course, you can still lose these games. But based on our previous performances there, I can already see how the game's gonna go. They're gonna have so much possession. They're gonna have so many chances, but we're gonna literally hit them with two counter attacks and we're gonna score. And then they might get one goal. And that's just put out my prediction for it. But fuck it, I might as well say it now. 2-1 is my prediction. And
Mm.
I said this when on a clip that I sent to Kate, and I'll say it again. I think that Saka and Havertz are gonna have a brilliant game. And I think Son, who is their most clinical player, is going to score one of the goals. That's what I think is going to happen.
Always
Now,
that stink us against us last 2 years at their ground.
yeah, yeah, I still think he can pull out something out the bag.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He definitely can, bro. He has moments, bro. He has moments, but then again, let's hope that we get Man City at home, Son, bro. That's what we need. We need Man City at home, Son, so he can miss open chances. That is what we need right now.
This
Um,
rattles me, man.
Bro, he is like it's mad how he misses fucking doofus bozo fucking clown. Son is what an absolute fucking clown and an idiot, an absolute fool. Like, and the thing is, you could tell that he wanted to score that chance as well, but he
Mm.
fumbled it. Just like the club that they support fumbles every single thing that they go into. So, listen, it is where it is. It's gone now. Let's forget about him. But in regards to the game, I think we will win the game. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think that we will actually play. We'll be able to hit them on the counter attack. If Van der Ven doesn't play, like you said, it does get easier. If Van der
Yeah.
Ven's not playing, it gets easier because Romero by himself is a mess. Romero by himself cannot control himself, and actually, there's only so much that Romero can do before he gets pissed and before he does something stupid or makes a stupid run or follows the man too tight and they get past him. Do you know what I mean? Or he's out of position. And next to Dragosin can't handle that, bro. He's not that guy. So yeah, listen, if Van der Ven's not there, it's brilliant. If Van der Ven's there, it's gonna be a challenge. Because I think Van der Ven's very good at reading the game. Van der Ven is by far the best defender that they've got. Van der
Mm.
Ven is better at reading the game. He's better at timing his runs, tracking back. obviously. Being able to time his runs to track back, knowing where the players are and how they're going to make a runs. I think his reading the game is absolutely brilliant. So he's going to be the one that causes us the most problems. Pedro Porro, listen, whoever plays on that left side needs to be on job, bro. Because Pedro Porro will give you all of the space. So you just have to like go for it and attack the space, bro. Because he'll give you space,
Mm.
definitely. But yeah, listen, I absolutely think that we're gonna go over there and we're gonna win the game, man. So I'm not too worried about this one. But like I said, it's a derby. Do you know what I mean? Anything can happen. Big up to Ash, who says, "Big up, you legends. No one cares about Spuds. We should win this, no drama." Yeah, listen, that's one thing that's never missing out of a North London derby, bro. There's
The fact
always
that we're still favorites despite all these injuries, like, just shows you like how far we
how
have come and
low
how low they have sunk.
Spurs are, bro. How low
Yeah.
Spurs are, and we're still favourites at their ground. It's embarrassing for them because I said this yesterday. In my time of being an Arsenal supporter for years and years and years, bro. It's not years and years and years, but it's years and years. I've never Spurs come into my ground, even when we were at our shittest. Spurs came to our ground, we were always favourites for me.
Yeah.
I will never say that Tottenham are favourites at my ground.
They've only beaten us once there, no? I think only once.
At
The
our ground, yeah.
3-2. Yeah, the 3-2 when Skilacci scored and Nasri. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's it.
So that I will never ever say that they're favourites at my ground. However, these men will come out and say we're clearly favourites at their ground. Like it's just the mentality is different because I can never say that. Never. Because I already know my club. My club stands on business, bro. And when it comes to these games, bro, we get the job done. We get the job done. So, listen, I'm happy going into this game. Big up to Ash for the super chat, of course. Let's get the predictions out. Let's get this done quick time, bro. Because I'm actually gonna pass out, man. I need to go to sleep, man. I had an early morning today, bro, and I had a late
Yeah.
night. Yeah, bro, it's
Okay,
crazy, man.
let's do it.
All
So I've
right.
already entered your prediction here for the Spurs Arsenal because you said
What's
2-1.
your prediction then? Let's get
Yeah,
yours
so
out
I
the way.
think we'll just get that done as well. I think we will probably concede. So I'm gonna say Spurs will score. Um, Now I was gonna say 2-1 as well, but you know what? I'm gonna be a bit different from yours. I'm gonna say 3-1 Arsenal.
There you are. There you are.
Yeah,
All right, who do
yeah.
we
I
have? Man United versus Southampton
we're,
next, yeah?
yes, Southampton,
So
Man
you go
United.
ahead.
Yeah, I don't rate Southampton, man. I think United will bounce back here, but their defense sucks, so they'll probably concede. So I'll say 1 for Southampton and maybe also 3 for United.
I'm gonna go with a 2-0 to Man United for that one.
Okay. Brighton Ipswich. Yeah, that should be an easy game.
I think it's gonna
Easy
be
game.
I'm just trying to figure out how many goals Brighton are gonna score, bro.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna say
definitely a
3.
Brighton win, bro. But I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 4-0.
Damn. Crystal Palace Leicester.
Um well, to be honest, you have to go first. Just keep it. You go first because you're on the first side. So you
Mhm.
just put your thing. That's a 3-2. Fucking hell. Leicester Crystal Palace. I think it's going to be 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Sorry, I was about to say Leicester there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's your
Oh
turn.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I keep
You're not even
forgetting.
speaking.
Fulham, West Ham.
There you are. You're such a fraud, brother. Just speak, and say yeah. So for
Fulham
West Ham, Fulham, I think it's going to be
1-0 West Ham.
okay. You're concentrating too much on the screen, bro. I'm getting shook, bro. What is this? Your concentration face when you're typing stuff out is hella funny. You know that. Um, West Ham, Fulham. West Ham, Fulham. I'm gonna go with 2-1 to 2-1 to Fulham. Just put it in
Okay.
before I change my mind.
Liverpool. This should be quite easy. Come on. So I'll say 3-0 Liverpool.
Damn, you took my freaking scoreline.
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna go
can put
two.
the same scoreline.
I'm gonna
2
go
0.
two.
Okay.
Yeah, there you are. You can
Man City
tell, guys, that
Brentford.
this is our first time. Guys, you can tell this is
So
our
so
first time
yeah, it
on this
is.
new
Yeah.
thing.
Um, Man City Brentford. Now I'm not gonna predict like some crazy shock like how this fraud Saad did with Liverpool Brentford when he predicted Brentford to win.
Here we
But
go.
I do think Brentford will make it a bit difficult for City. I don't think they'll steamroll them. Um, I think City will scrape a 2-1 win.
Oh, really? I'm going
Yeah.
1-1.
Oh, you
I
really
think they're
have that
gonna
much
draw.
faith in Brentford? Huh? Crazy.
Yeah, and Buemo and Wissa scoring, man. They're scoring, bro.
Their
At the
defense
moment.
sucks though. Okay, Aston Villa, Everton. Everton, one of the worst teams in the league. Aston Villa are decent. Um, Aston Villa tend to struggle against some of these teams though sometimes. So I'm going to say 1-0
2-0.
to
Actually,
Everton.
2-1. 2-1 to Villa.
Oh, sorry, I messed up. 2-1. Okay, cool. Bournemouth, Chelsea. Oh, wait, what did they do against? They lost that game, right? Against was it Newcastle or West Ham? What did Bournemouth do
Uh,
in the league so far?
no. I think they won their game, didn't they? Or did they draw 2-2? I think they drew 2-2. Actually, was it Wolves that
Okay.
they were playing?
No, it was Newcastle, I think. I'm
Nah,
just trying to check.
Newcastle played Spurs.
No, the game before that. Okay, maybe, yeah, maybe. Where is Bournemouth in the
So
table?
Bournemouth
Oh,
won
they're
three
eight. They're
two.
not bad.
Bournemouth won
You know
three
what?
two against Everton. I
Fair,
think.
fair. You know what? I'm gonna predict them winning this game.
Yeah, same.
Or no, I'll predict a 2-2 draw.
I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win to Bournemouth.
Damn, Chelsea's become that much of a joke. we predict them drawing and losing these kind of games. And then finally we have Wolves
Newcastle
Newcastle.
Wolves.
Yeah, I'd say Newcastle
Mm.
wins this game 4-1
I'm gonna go 2-1 to
for Wolves or
Newcastle.
Newcastle. Oh, okay.
Newcastle, of course, Newcastle.
Yeah.
I do think Wolves at the
Cool.
moment are a mess, but listen, let's see what happens. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Cool. These are our predictions. So we'll see how it goes then.
Yes, guys, these are the predictions. Listen, thank you very much, everyone who has tuned in, man, for this segment show of Saad and Ash. We will be back tomorrow, hopefully. I'm just trying to sort out a panel show. We'll be doing a preview for the Spurs game. Hopefully, I can sort out the panelists because I'm just having a bit of trouble finding Spurs fans. But listen,
They're
hopefully we
hiding.
can do it. Hopefully we can do it. If we don't, then I'll just gather up a bunch of the Arsenal boys. Ash will probably be there again, but I'll probably do it a bit earlier. It was meant to
And
be
we'll
at
just
10
talk
o'clock that I was
match.
going to do it, but we'll just gather up some of the boys if I can't get any Tottenham guys, and then we'll gather up some of the boys and we'll just speak. We'll just kick it back and then talk about the game. But guys, listen, thank you very much for tuning in. We are out of here. Let me just see who is available to redirect to that I can send you guys to. Let me just have a look. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Who is available? Who is available? Who is available to pass you lot to? Redirect. Redirect. Oh, we have a few here. Let me send you guys over to Rivals Rumble. Footy Judge Mo. Let's send you over there, guys. Smash the like button when you go over to Mo's channel. Subscribe to his channel. I'm out, people. Love for the love. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.